welcome once more. It feels like a long time since I've done this. It isn't really, and to you who just kind of goes around clicking on things, it's nothing. You can see me in various outfits and various dates at the push of a button, at the click of a mouse, return, backspace, escape. Yeah? Does anyone use the escape button anymore? They should do. It's my favourite button. It's great. Great name for a button, that. A few years ago, I wasn't writing anything. I was finding myself. And finding myself involved not doing anything. Yes, that was the lie all people who find themselves tell, because in reality, they don't change. They just don't do anything. A solid overarching lie can take up decades of your life and give you all the reasons you want to achieve nothing. But when it is over, you have nothing to show for it, apart from much less time. Do something. Start today. As I awoke from the lie I was telling myself, I started writing again, and I recently found something that I wrote in that period. It's a political drama. I don't do politics on this channel because in my experience, people who talk about politics are really stupid. I don't want to be really stupid, and I don't want to talk to really stupid people. It is the only domain where someone can feel like an expert in under a minute and will confidently use their 30 seconds of research as a reason why they are a better person than you. I hate those people, and if they all died tomorrow, I'd laugh. That said, I wrote this thing, and you will endure it, or you will leave. I have no control over you. Talk about the premise of Undemocracy. Okay, so this is a thing that I wrote as I was coming out of that slumberous period. Let's say, what would be a good year to call it? What year is it now? It's 23. Okay, let's say 19. Yeah, I wrote it in 19. That might not be true, but for this, I'll say that it is. So I wrote this in 2019, and I think at the time, I was quite into the idea of disaster. So I was kind of like, what would happen if we had a disaster? And I was also interested in football.
Oh, like a natural disaster, or
Could be. So like waves.
yeah.
Like if you ever saw Deep Impact. Did you ever see Deep Impact?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
One of the, it's pretty old now actually, but one of the things, like they had a great big wave and it kind of poured over Manhattan, and like it was as tall as Manhattan.
Oh, that
you know, it's like a super tsunami.
Big.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, I don't want to ruin the film for people who haven't seen it, but you've had 25 years to watch it and you haven't bothered. So basically, one of the stupid things about it is they go, oh God, this
And they get
rock.
guns and they start shooting at the tsunami.
No, that's too late. It's too late.
It's too American.
But it's an asteroid. Oh, that would be really that is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's this asteroid coming before it hits, and they do this bit where they go, should we nuke it? And they're like, well, basically, if it does hit, we'll all die. So yeah, let's try that. And there's this shot of all these nukes going into space to attack this asteroid, and then it cuts, just them kind of taking off and going, and then it cuts, and then you have Morgan Freeman, who's the president, just cuts to him. And he goes, yeah, that didn't work. I'm like, what do you mean it didn't work? I mean, all of these nukes have just got to hit this rock, not even destroy it, but just send it off course.
It, but yeah.
And they never showed any impacts or any missing or anything. They just, it didn't work.
Wow,
Like-
that's just lazy filmmaking. That's lazy writing.
But I tell you what, it disappointed me in our combined nuclear arsenal. Because I think there's an argument for higher armament, mainly for rocks. Because if you need like 100 nukes and they don't even hit the bloody thing.
Yeah. In a weird way, it's kind of like a metaphor, isn't it? Like, if you need that many nukes to hit the rock, you need that many footballers to hit one ball, surely the chances are of success, like you have a chance of success.
Yeah,
hitting
I don't think they'll
said
change.
thing.
I think you can always have more nuclear missiles,
Interesting take. Yeah.
but
You
you
can't
can't
always
have more footballers because they've set that down. They've said there's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two of them are goalkeepers.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so they're not going to change that.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was thinking about football, and I was thinking about the way that clubs go bust.
Oh,
Right,
interesting.
so they go, oh,
Yeah.
how's it? Which is kind of a disaster for the casual football fan, you know, who happens to
Yeah.
like those clubs.
Yeah,
You go,
absolutely.
I had a club and I don't have one now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, the more emotional among them would you know, probably cry about that. And so I was thinking about that. One of the things that they do, and you can do this with any company, but I was just thinking about it in terms of football, is a thing called phoenixing, where you just sort of go, oh right, well this company doesn't exist anymore, and now
Bring it
it
back
does,
to
but it
life.
doesn't have any of the debts.
Yeah.
And then I thought, what if a country did that?
Oh, wow.
Now there are things like international law that would sort of mean, oh, you can't really get away with it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I thought, let's ignore that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing like
Guardians.
only killjoys pay attention to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine, well, I mean, I'm sure you've got a better taste in people, but let's say, I don't know, you were related to somebody and like your nan had twisted your arm and they said, oh, take Brian to the cinema because he's doing my head in. Okay. So you go along to this and Brian would sit through and go, you couldn't actually do that. You couldn't actually do that. You know, you can imagine
Yeah.
Brian, that kind of
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
you go, all right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
But for the casual viewer, they go, oh, what a fun premise.
Yeah,
What-
exactly.
What
Yeah.
delightful writing.
Exactly.
So that's the idea behind Undemocracy. Now I wrote probably, and I think we'll probably do it in volumes because there's quite a lot of it. I wrote about half an hour before kind of I got bored and kind of taken away with like other stuff I was doing. Not to say that that's a habit of mine. Now, what we have here though, because I've got to start it, if I'm going to do it in volumes, I've kind of got to do it in order for the sake of people. So it's unavoidable. You were invited before I knew what I was going to do, which isn't an excuse.
Yeah.
But I just thought, oh, I'd like to do this. Oh no, I've invited 2 women and the scene has got 3 men in it. And then I went, forget it. Just act.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you there.
Very, very
2023,
progressive of
like,
you. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's normal nowadays.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll get kudos from half of people for that, won't I?
You
So
will.
what we'll do, I don't really want you to.
To pretend to be men.
No, I don't. You're going to have
Doesn't make
men.
sense,
You're going to
does
have
it?
men's
I
names.
guess it doesn't.
Yeah. Are they
Just wanna tap into
interchangeable?
my masculine energy.
I will just.
Yeah.
I think it'll be annoying remembering what the names have changed to.
No, I just mean more for my head so I can become...
Can't you? You can't just be Terence or Howard or.
No, I
Marcus.
can be any of those things.
Yeah. Do that because I think it'll be easier
That's fine.
for me.
Yeah.
It'll be easier. I don't think they call themselves too much by their names anyway.
No. To
Now
be fair,
these are all men, but I will point out that the script wasn't purely a man thing. The Prime Minister is a woman,
Okay.
but she's not in this scene.
Oh.
Okay, so it's not like
It's not in the
oh I
seat
don't
of
have
power.
women in this
Mm.
because
Yeah.
I wrote it in 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
So, we have Sir Terence Trilby, Permanent Secretary to the Treasury. So he's the boss of this room.
Yeah.
We have Howard Banks, who is the second Permanent Secretary, so his immediate subordinate.
Yeah.
And we have Marcus Browning, who is a junior Treasury official. So they all look down on him. And I think at the end, having said all of that, they've got James Randolph, who is boss man, but I think he just does a shouty line.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I'm happy to do that,
Yeah.
because otherwise I'll observe and think. Yeah.
Mm.
So who wants what?
I quite like the sound of Trilby.
So Terence Trilby.
It's a good surname.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I quite like
Yeah,
Howard.
exactly.
I don't know why it's calling to me.
Howard Banks.
Yeah.
Right.
I can go Marcus.
Yeah, no objections?
No objections there.
That's fine, that's
No
pretty...
objections, Your Honour.
That was pretty calmly done. Snaps up nicely. I
Oh, yeah,
like
that was-
that. Tell you what annoys me is when I say, "Oh, who do you want to be?" and they go, I don't know.
We'll
didn't
do
get
We'll
that.
do that in the next round.
Yeah,
We'll do
no,
that.
the
It's
complaint. We'll
coming,
save the
yeah.
complaints for an hour or so.
Yeah, we'll be
We'll let them
decisive
have
now.
one and then. Yeah.
No,
I'll spoil you.
decisiveness wins the day, and that's true in your life. Okay, that's true in your life. They'll tell you out there, your teachers, sometimes your parents will say, "Oh, you don't need to be decisive," but the person who is decisive versus the person who isn't decisive, when they're both 65, the one who is decisive is still alive and the indecisive one is dead.
Metaphorically or physically?
Factually.
No, they really will be. Yeah, that's one of the... Decisiveness is a key indicator to
To a long,
Long-
happy life.
just
Long-term study, that sounds like.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was,
very scientific.
yeah.
External London streets day. Shots of people marching, civil unrest, queues. Okay, this is not like, you know, a Saturday, one of those kind of typical middle class Saturday walkabouts in central London. This is serious.
Yeah.
This is 10 times bigger than the biggest thing you've seen.
Yeah.
Lord knows I hate queues.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, people are still queuing, but this is, I think we're trying to make the point, it is still Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But like, these are angry
Okay.
queues.
Yeah.
These
yeah.
are
Right.
cues, unrest cues.
There's not much,
Not
you know, there's
polite.
not, it's not
Yeah.
good. Internal, large single office day, caption, HM Treasury, 9:45 a.m. Sir Terence Trilby, permanent secretary to the Treasury, is dressed in shirt sleeves and holding a double scotch.
Of course.
Looking out onto Whitehall at the people marching by. He turns and moves to his desk and takes a seat. To his right sits Howard Banks, second permanent secretary. You're actually on his left there, that's okay. And stood aloof to the left, sort of, is Marcus Browning, a younger junior Treasury official. Trilby sifts through the papers, knowing them to be meaningless before pushing them aside. He grips the edge of the desk, digging his nails into the wood.
I toiled for 30 years so this wouldn't happen. I fought all of their short-term schemes, bending enough to keep my influence. 7 prime ministers, 10 chancellors, all the expected enemies, and it's the fucking IMF that shoot us down. Stop buying British debt. There are rules, Howard.
Yes, I know, Terence. It's so unexpected. Is there any way we can pay the bill, get things back on track?
They've screwed us, the lot of them. Okay, they're making an example of us. I said we shouldn't even have a deficit. These people don't know what austerity is. Well, they soon will. It'll be like the war. A lost generation. I can't have many generations left, Howard.
The black phone rings.
It's been doing that all day.
Terence Trilby lifts the receiver and puts it back down immediately.
What about the Americans or the ECB?
Ha! The only comfort is those fuckers can't be far behind. Perhaps they're smiling now, but if our debt is diseased, then everyone will catch it. That I do know.
But have we explored debt relief? At least ask the question.
Sod asking questions. We might as well not pay.
What if we didn't pay?
The two older men peer at the junior official, having forgotten he was in the room.
I wasn't being serious, Marcus. Our bond prices are through the roof. We don't pay, and they are never going down.
Whose bond prices?
The United Kingdom's bond prices, Marcus, the country I assume you were born in, and the capital city of which we are standing in the centre of.
If you'll indulge me a moment, sir.
I have nothing else to do.
The black phone rings and Trilby lifts and replaces the receiver.
We stand on the precipice of a minimum 20-year decline in all areas. Businesses will go bust, unemployment will soar, as will inflation, lowering living standards sharply.
Are you about to tell me that you are going out there?
If the UK were a business, then any financial advisor would recommend it liquidate and phoenix. Start again.
But the UK is not a business, Marcus. It has citizens to consider that it can't simply wipe away.
True. So what would happen if people got really upset?
They are.
but more upset than this, as in going hungry, no clean water upset, lethally upset.
Both men are tiring and look blankly at Marcus.
Revolution!
We're not the revolting kind, Marcus. We're British.
I agree, sir. But might we be the revolting kind if we weren't British anymore?
Long pause.
I'm lost.
Wait a second. Are you saying hypothetically that if there were a successful revolution which gave rise to not only a new government, but a new country, then these debts would no longer be that new country's problem?
I think that is what I'm saying.
Oh, so all we have to do is make things so bad that the people rise up, kill people like us, and then possibly debts get written off. And I thought things were bad. Great idea, Marcus. Glad you came in today.
Marcus turns on the TV. 24-hour news is showing marches and rioting. With government funds now in critical condition, it can only be a matter of time before the police can no longer be paid and stop holding the crowds back.
Oh, but that's nonsense. I mean, we have contingencies for these kind of things, okay? People have sworn oaths, king and country and what have you.
What if he's right? People believe all of this stuff and maybe we could control it.
But you'd need the whole establishment to go.
Not the whole establishment.
The PM, the cabinet, the king, that ought to do it.
And who do we put in charge? I don't want to do it.
Oh no, that wouldn't work at all.
Well, indeed. We don't want to get too far-fetched, do we?
It needs to be someone larger than life, popular, apolitical, who owes us one.
I can think of a couple.
No. No, this is madness. Surely even the attempt would be treason.
Not if we ask.
Lost generation, Terence. How's that retirement fund looking this morning?
Trilby necks the scotch he's been nursing and puts his jacket on. The black phone rings and he lifts the receiver.
This is Sir Terence Trilby.
Trilby, where the fuck have you been?
Before you get started, John, I just have something to run by you. In person, if possible.
Right. See? Says the first few minutes of amazing political intrigue. A bit like Yes Minister, you know, but without any politicians in the room. So it's kind of like, this is what would the civil service do? What kind of schemes do they come up with in desperation? And how much are they thinking about their own problems? How is the retirement fund looking this morning, Terence?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not looking good, is it?
Not great.
The bond prices, you know, going through the roof. What if we can't pay the debts, get into default? It's gonna be crazy. Won't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yes.
Truly.
So I don't want to. I've already kind of spoiled. No, I didn't. No, I've not spoiled anything. We said we're phoenixing the country, right? Now, when I wrote this in 2019, maybe, that was pie in the sky. But now, don't want to do politics on this channel, but let me tell you, more likely now than it was then. The things that people say, that'll never happen, right? 5 years later, that could happen. 5 years later, that's happened.
Wow.
Don't want to alarm anybody, you know. Might be nice. You get a different flag. I mean, you know, it's good colours already. So
You get like a rebranding. You get like a rebranding.
Like a relaunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
So,
any good name ideas for that?
well, I mean, there's already stuff kind of in existence. I mean, you just go, oh, it's Britannia now. You just kind of call it Britannia.
To go classical.
That's
Go
true.
classical,
You
yeah.
don't need to. You'd stick that all, because you could get everybody to agree on that. Just about.
Yeah.
Just about. There'll be outliers who are like, no, I hate everything. Okay.
Of course, yeah, of course.
But there'll be far less pushback if you go something like that.
If you ask the outliers what they'd want it to be, it'd be like, oh, scumland or something, and then that'll and 85% of people will say, I don't want to live in a country called scumland. Oh, but it should be, you know.
Yeah.
So we don't want to have these. We want to have consensus, and it could be a real kind of bringing together moment. Of course, for that to happen, everybody would be back to zero. I mean, you'd be completely skinted. I mean, it'd be good for some people. Anybody who was in debt now isn't in debt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anybody who had anything now, well, every country would have to do the same thing, to be fair, because otherwise they just go, well, I'm just going to put it in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
So
It would have to be a world collective.
yeah, it would, because if other countries don't do it, then they'd go, well, we're not doing it, and then they'd get like all the money thrown at them. If Switzerland just went, yeah, you can all do that, we won't, we'll still be Switzerland.
Yeah.
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 Just piling. They're already doing all right.
They're already doing. I was about to say.
They've always been doing fine.
Clever.
Yeah.
See, the Swiss
Yeah.
keep out of trouble.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Neutral zone.
they have national service. Yeah, significant national service, even
right.
though they'll never do anything, because they like it that way. Lovely chocolate,
Right. Yeah.
holy cheese,
Mm.
cookie clocks. Yeah.
Cookie clocks, yeah.
So I'm very positive. I mean, certainly, if anybody's watching this who is Swiss, lives in Switzerland, I'm sure it's good luck to you. Sounds like a lovely thing. Well, look, Undemocracy is going to be a volumized edition. I mean, it's not going to be quick. So if you really loved that, then you know what to do before I get in trouble. You have to like and subscribe to the channel, because there's a woman that tells me off if I don't tell you to do that. I am in charge of her. I can fire her, but I haven't yet, because I'm not as merciless as you think I am. So that's going to be a serial. The next one is going to be in like 3 months. Yeah. But, and here's important, if you are from the future, and I don't mean the near future, I mean the significantly forward future. If you're in like 2025 onwards watching this, they'll all be lined up for you. You just got to find them. We've done it. But when I'm talking to you now, we've only done one. So that's I can't change that. It's written, but I haven't it's not on my phone, and these people aren't prepped, so we can't. So we'll just wait. We'll wait. You don't have to. Okay? Bloody hell. Right. I hope you enjoyed it. I've told you what to do. You lack focus. You need someone to tell you what to do. If you already have focus and are offended by that, then you've already done it. So why are you complaining? Bye.